Global share markets offer such a wide range of opportunities to global investors. Australia only makes up 2% of the global benchmark, very skewed towards mining companies and large banks. And the global benchmark is so different to that. It gives exposure to global technology firms all around the world that are growing, healthcare, global banks, global mining. There's just a much richer opportunity set for global investors to think from, and provides a good source of capital growth over the long run. We're pragmatic value. So what we don't buy businesses for the sake of valuations alone. Yes, we seek a high margin of safety in each and every one of our investments because we do want to buy things at a good price to limit downside. But we look for multiple ways a business can win. And I think that's a real edge in our investment process to many others, where we are looking for businesses that can unlock value through multiple ways. And then the final thing is portfolio construction. So a lot of funds talk about stocks, and they don't really talk about how the stocks come together in a portfolio. We do. We limit highly concentrated bets in the funds. So we have this thing called alpha clusters. So whilst you see a 60 stock portfolio, there's actually 7 to 11 alpha clusters. So we have these themes across different geographies, different sectors that are in play. And those alpha clusters are quite uncorrelated to each other. So they give the portfolio quite good diversity over the course of an economic cycle. The Antipodes Partners way is very much driven at a sector basis. So obviously we want at an individual stock basis, margin of safety, multiple ways to win. But I think where we can build a big edge over our peers is that we do very deep industry analysis. We start at the industry level first, and hence why our teams are broken at a sector line rather than a regional basis. We can then get a strong view on the industry and pick winners and losers in that industry. So sometimes when you assess a company and you may find, well, this is quite an interesting perspective idea on the long side, what it may also uncover is that there is a good, interesting short as well within that same industry. And building that edge, I think, gives us a competitive advantage to most under managers who just look at stocks at a very much stock by stock basis. So from our point of view, meeting management is very important. Building a strong industry framework is very important. Uncovering multiple ways to win is critical because that's a core part of our process. And then testing that idea over time. So you might buy an idea today on these various multiple ways to win, and as they play out, you might find that actually you've underestimated how good the idea is. So you're constantly testing your thesis along the way, which involves meeting the company, doing site visits, talking to industry experts, and also having that industry perspective to assess all the relative opportunities in that space. The typical fund manager out there is typically only buying stocks long, and either hedging back to a base currency or leaving it unhedged. So Antipodes Partners Global Fund goes long, can go short, and also actively manages currency to protect from downside risks in markets. So our fund's quite dynamic. There are these 3 levers that we have in our belt. That allows us to generate alphas in both rising and falling markets. So I think for us, the approach on shorting is like how we approach our longs. We margin of safety, multiple ways to win, and they fit in these alpha clusters. But then the currency adds another layer where we can protect clients from currency volatility or periods where certain economies are going through currency devaluation, and we can see an opportunity to hedge from that, which most other global fund managers do not.
Any advice in this video is general advice prepared by Morningstar without reference to your financial objectives, situation, or needs. You should consider the advice in light of these matters and any relevant product disclosure statement before making any decision to invest.